Hello, everyone. You may be new. I want you to meet some of the people that been with our team and the success that they've had uh, and some of the areas that we talk about in terms of sound money instead of accumulating wealth on a weekly and affordable basis through our stack and sell with our autosaver program and actually earning extra income. Uh, uh, you know, a goal is trying to get to 500 extra a week. That would change a lot of people's lives. And so we're going to meet some of the people. One of the first ones I want to bring in, and we're going to do it kind of interview style, uh, is Cheryl Toyofuku from Hawaii. Uh, and I met Cheryl a couple of years ago uh, through Zooms. Didn't know her personally until she actually put a lei on me when I went to Honolulu. I flew into Honolulu, my wife and I. Cheryl, uh, Cheryl Toyofuku, uh, uh, I understand you come from a medical background. So tell us what you've basically done most of your career.
Aloha, Bob. Thank you so much. Coming from beautiful Hawaii, I am a retired registered nurse. I used to be a former oncology certified nurse, so I worked with a lot of cancer patients. And then eventually, though, about 30 something years ago, I transitioned to more natural, non-toxic healthcare. So I quit hospital nursing and then worked for naturopathic doctors, was the associate director for the Foundation for East-West Medicine, and just did a lot of research on my own, what God says about health and healing. And then, of course, what some of the complementary alternative medicine was sharing about how to keep our bodies healthy. So that's my background. My last job, though, after I kind of retired, after I worked with some clinics and so forth, I worked as a dining room server at assisted living because I didn't want to push pills there, and it was during the pandemic time. Um, and I was only earning $13 an hour, but I loved working there because of the seniors, and that's my passion to work with seniors and children. But again, I wasn't earning a lot to be able to leave a legacy for my grandchildren. So that's my
And and
history.
I understand too that you care for your grandchildren a lot, and you cared for your mother, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Mm.
Thank you. Yes, I live with my four grandchildren. I love them from ages 6 to 19 with my daughter and my son-in-law. So it's quite a busy life. I was caregiving almost like 5 or 6 days a week for my mom, age 96, but she recently passed a couple in October. And so I have to be honest that I was a little bit lost because my schedule and my sister and brother, our schedules kind of revolved around caring for my mom because she had a stroke decades ago. So we've been caring for her from, the walker to the wheelchair, then of course in the bed. But we loved her dearly, and um, she was a pillar in our home. Yeah, because my dad passed away when I was 10. So, but then, again, I need to move on. So I'm focusing on helping a lot of other people with their health, but also perfectly with their wealth.
Yeah, and so you knew Pastor Gary, and you came to him, and you were looking to how to acquire silver. You know, you recognized the need. So when was that, Cheryl? Do you remember
That
your
was,
date?
yeah. Well, we've been friends for several years, Pastor Gary and myself, and he's very big picture visionary, and he's an out of the box type of pastor. And I really appreciated him because he also is, as far as the healthcare area, he also was very like-minded with myself in the natural, more non-toxic. So um, let's see, when after I met him for years, he was, sending me information and mentoring me. And then in 2021 is when I decided, after I retired from the assisted living facility, I just thought, I started doing more research on gold and silver and thought, gee, I had a little bit of silver from before, but I needed to acquire more. And that's when I contacted friends and family, hey, how do I get more silver? And then I remembered my good friend, Pastor Gary, who had, shared about gold and silver with me. And so I contacted him and I said, hey, Pastor Gary, how can I get some silver? How can I acquire some? And of course, he contacted me back and shared about 7K because he had been researching about 7K. He joined, I joined, my friend Colleen joined, and that, we just shared a lot with our friends and family. And then you came to Hawaii.
And
That was back in 21.
that was back in 20. We did a lot of Zoom meetings before that,
Yes, we
and
did.
y'all kept me up to the wee hours of the morning as y'all kept bringing people into Pastor Gary's
Hmm.
living room on that big screen, and we talked about 7K, and y'all talked about it there. And so, uh, you you really didn't have much of a source of income, but you joined 7K to acquire gold and silver. That's the reason you joined, not to make income, correct?
Correct. Yes,
And
I
so,
just felt,
but
yes, go
but
ahead.
by sharing, you started making some nice extra income, correct?
Yes,
So you
I
shared the
did.
message and you started making extra income. Now, after the trip there, we kind of put in 309 memberships in 7 days or 8 days. That was pretty cool. And a lot of that was under you, wasn't it?
Well, I didn't know hardly anything about gold and silver and building a business like that. But what I did was Bob graciously came from Louisiana to Hawaii. So, and he had meetings for us. So all I did was say, hey, I have something to share with you that's of value. Maybe would you like to come and listen? And of course, some of them I told them it was about precious metals, and they know me. I mean, a lot of my friends and family know me that that's kind of out of my, you know, what I do. So I said, I have someone that knows a lot more than I do. So, hey, why don't you come to a meeting or a Zoom conference? Or in those days, it was just Pastor Gary and Bob helping me a lot.
And Cheryl, you became a silver in less than 90 days, and you earned the 100-ounce silver bonus bar from the company, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And
That
you
was a
you you got
surprise.
and you got to go on the Founders Leaders Getaway, and that beautiful resort uh, in the wilderness, uh, and with you and several of your teammates uh,
Well, actually, Bob,
enjoyed that
I
trip
didn't
with
get to
you.
go. I didn't get to go because I
Oh,
was caregiving for my mom, but a lot of
that's
my friends and
right.
family went,
That's
so I
right.
really,
You won the trip, but you weren't able to go, but many of your
yes,
teammates did. I do
correct,
recall that now
yes.
because I
But
was
I
on
told
that
them to
trip
give me
with you.
a report when they
So
came back, so they did.
so so Cheryl, has this changed your life in your retirement years? You're still caregiver, you're still taking care. You actually do 7K kind of part-time, full-time when you have time. But has it changed your life financially?
It certainly has. The passion that I have now after the mentoring from you and Pastor Gary, the founders, going to the Salt Lake City, Utah conference, then to the Vegas convention, and then to Louisiana, New Orleans. Um, it has changed my life because not much of a traveler, but I got to go to some of these events and really learned. And like you said, we're earning as we're learning because I learned a whole bunch. I made a lot of new friends. My passion was actually after I started to understand a little bit more and learn a little bit more, I realized, my gosh, my vision and the mission has expanded just from acquiring silver in the beginning to now really want to help my family and friends get out of well, at least diversify from the Babylonian fiat monetary system into at least diversifying into some gold and silver,
Do
because that's
you
to me God's
do
money.
do you mind? Absolutely. Do you mind sharing a little over the time that since 2021 when you joined uh to now? Can you mind sharing a little bit about how much gold and silver you've accumulated?
Well, yeah, there's quite a bit, thousands of, well, for me, it's coming quite a bit of thousands of dollars in my Sound Money wallet. I keep some in the Sound Money wallet. I have some in personal possession. And because there's 4 members in my family who are also 7K members, they've been faithfully, we've been acquiring our autosaver coins. So I have a stack of those, right? 4 members over the last 2.5 years, I think, almost. And and then of course, so we're scanning our coins into our Stack and Sell, and we have our Sound Money wallet. Of course,
Mm.
my daughter and my son-in-law are busy raising 4 kids, so they're not as active as I am, even in my retirement age. But
So it's
I'm
a
gonna I'm
real
gonna work on
family,
it.
it's a real family affair with you. And
Oh, oh,
that's really what we want with a lot of people. And sometimes it takes time for other members of the family to kind of come on board and see the benefits, but you are certainly setting a great standard for your children and grandchildren and oh, in the infancy. Basically, 7K is only 7 years old, and so we got such growth to go, and that can help provide that legacy you were looking for your children's children, and that's great. So, do you happen to have your dashboard up on your Stack and Sell that you can tell us how many coins you scanned in, what they cost, and what its current market value is?
okay. Well, I know that right now the silver and gold prices are being suppressed and manipulated by the
Yeah,
central
but
bankers, but I still
don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
okay.
Uh,
But
just
I believe I go to my dashboard, right, on my Stack and Sell.
yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Well,
And right.
the right
Coins have
now
you
the market
purchased?
value, is that what
No,
you're
no, no,
asking
no.
for?
How many coins have you got registered in your Stack and Sell? There's a number
Oh,
there. It
okay.
tells
Where
you
do
the
I
number.
find that? Oh,
It's
it
right there
says
on your
222. Is that the number Stack?
okay, 222 coins, and then it tells you what you paid for them,
Yes, correct.
cost. What is that?
Okay, again, this is for 4 members because I put it all in my stack. I hope that's okay, but I did,
That's okay.
um,
Just
okay.
what's it say?
So what I purchased, 31,000,
Okay. Now what's your current market value?
31,531.
Okay. Now I'm going to use an example here because see, you're kind of new. I've been in 7 years. George has been in 7 years. Woodrow's been in 7 years. And some people have maybe purchased a few more coins, different coins than you. But the key is you earned income off of those coins. You got tax breaks, 1099 tax break by doing 7K. So where could Cheryl have put her 31,000? And notice she didn't have a great income going into 7K. You know where she came from. She was basically in retirement and earning a little extra income here and there through her homeopathic health uh, 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 sideline, and so obviously uh, she was able to put coins in Stack and Sell that has the potential to gain value with time. That's the important thing about Stack and Sell, in understanding that we actually paid less than what we actually expended because we got some other benefits. We all got loyalty points. We were able to get some free coins and free bullion through that process. Thank you so much, Cheryl.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate you and looking forward to our growth and advancing the business in the future. Next,
Yes.
and if you would be so kind to mute yourself so I can do it. Great. Now, I'd like to bring in Cindy and Delton. Delton, if you'll unmute. Let's see. I
Hello,
wasn't able
Bob.
to. I wasn't able to get in touch with you when I was driving home from George on our first meeting on November 17th, but I did get Cindy and I told her about it and then she joined. But and she actually joined before I got home and became a member and with a premium membership. But when you got home and we talked, what did you do, Dalton?
Oh, I wanted that business family pack immediately.
So you got
But
yourself positioned for the future and
yeah,
to be in
I was
control of your
aware of
business.
what that would could mean to us later on. And of course, some guy up in Missouri beat me to it, but that's
Yeah,
okay. I mean,
yeah. And now you're even still working right now, and I know Cindy. A lot of people may not know, but Cindy's had a lot of health problems, and y'all been in. It wasn't easy to get those memberships because you were financially tight. Wouldn't that be true?
oh yeah, we were
And
living week to week,
week to week,
paycheck to paycheck.
paycheck to paycheck, and but you saw the potential. We have done a gold and silver business before. We've done networking before, and you saw what the potential was, and so y'all just jumped in and went to work. And so let's look at the results of that. Y'all became a silver, okay? You didn't do it in 90 days, so you didn't get the 100 ounce silver bar, but that's not what is important. You started earning extra income. You started acquiring wealth and a savings. Now, have you ever had a savings before?
No, sir.
You were
We've
living
never been
paycheck
able to
to
save any
paycheck,
money.
right? You were living paycheck to paycheck, like you told me.
Right.
So let's 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 uh, and obviously you couldn't have acquired a lot of silver and gold and what you have over this last 7 years off of your paycheck, even if you were doing $25 a week, correct?
No,
So could
no.
you uh, tell us, let's just look at your stack and sell. Tell us a little bit about your stack and sell. How many coins you've registered in your stack and sell, how much they cost, and what their market value is.
We've got 592 in stack and sale. They cost us about 90,000, and their market value is just a few dollars under 100,000.
Ah,
99,700
so
something.
where could have Delton saved and invested $90,000 over 7 years with no risk and have it turn into $100,000? Now, you and I both know that market value is really the minimum market value because there's a lot of coins you have that are worth much more. They're selling right now for more than that market. So that market value is kind of conservative. Same with Chiro Toyofuku earlier. Eh, eh, that's just a very conservative estimate of market value. But now, $90,000, just $90,000, that's quite a savings, but it's really, you got 100 grand there, right?
Exactly. And it's not in paper.
And it's not in paper. I love it. Okay. Now I know you believed in a program that I teach that you take your commissions and you turn it into real money, some of it, some portion into gold and silver bullion. So, and the best place to do that now is sound money because you can store it. You can have different places where it's at. You can really diversify, and you could have it some of it physically, like Cheryl Toyofuku did. So
Yeah.
would you mind sharing with us what you've been able to collect in your Sound Money wallet so far?
Well, right now we've got 11,600 in Silver Eagles, 4,600 in Gold Eagles,
So that's another over
16,000.
15,000 that you've added to your savings program. So now you're up to 115,000 in real money savings. Isn't that powerful? Okay,
Yes, sir.
but you've collected other bullion during
Oh,
that
yeah.
time because we used to not have Sound Money when the beginning, and I had you buy some Silver Eagles or Maple Leafs or other bullion to ship along with your autosaver. Today, I recommend to people to buy it in Sound Money by $25 or a week or $100 a month or whatever they can afford. That's what I recommend today. So, about you probably have a pretty good handle on what your physical possession of gold and silver is.
Yeah.
What do you,
We would take any extra money we got, tax refund, all this kind of stuff, and we would put it into bullion. And right now we got about 2,500 ounces of Eagles, and we've got about 12 ounces of gold Eagles.
well, those 12 ounces gold eagles are worth more than 2,000 each, so that's about 25,000. Those 2,500 ounces,
Yes.
or doing easy math, I know is worth about $30 each. So you can
Yeah.
say that's about 75,000. So look, you got another 100 grand there. I
Yeah.
mean, when we kind of total it up, you got about 250 grand in 7 years. You've been able to acquire savings in. Is that
Yes.
change your outlook on life or
Boy,
any?
does it. Does it ever? Because I think we're going to retire this year, hopefully.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
I'm
thanks
gonna let you.
to,
I'm just gonna let you tell everyone what 7Ks meant to you, and I know we kind of went over the physical part, but kind of you bring it home for me, Delton, because you're very good at doing it. You stretched
well,
it out so many times to me, so I want you to share it with everybody.
well, thanks. First of all, I want to thank you so much for calling Cindy that night. And I can't thank you enough. But I've always known the value of precious metals. But like we discussed a while ago, I was never able to ever accumulate any. And then here comes Bob Reed. He calls Cindy, and when I seen it was precious metals, I jumped all over it. And I told her, I said, "We're gonna sacrifice. We're gonna do this." And I work 65 to 70 hours a week. I'm an industrial maintenance, and I have to work a lot of holidays. I get very little time off for anything. So I haven't been able to work the business like we would like to. But I pretty much know how to do it because very rarely I ever miss one of these Saturday calls unless I have to work. And the last 2 years, I told my boss I wasn't working on Saturday because I have to be on this call. And so I know how to do this business. I think I know how to do this business. We have started to get. I got Nasano up here now working with me, and we're starting to have our weekly meetings. Hopefully, before this summer, I will be able to not work that 70 hours a week at this manufacturing job and devote a lot more time to my 7K metals and truly retire and not have to work some kind of sidekick job somewhere at Walmart greeting the people. I will be able to concentrate on 7K metals because I think 7K metals is just now fixing to go to the moon. And I want to go with them. So Cindy and I are looking so forward to this. And again, I have to thank Bob, because if Bob hadn't have called us, I'd still be living paycheck to paycheck. Thanks again, Bob.
No,
Yes.
thank y'all, and y'all, you've done more because obviously you've succeeded very well income-wise, so it's meant a lot, and the results are in what you have in gold and silver, and being able to convert commission checks to real money, and so you built a good team, and you had to do it all part-time,
Very
all
important.
part-time. But we
Yeah.
were fortunate, you're a personal sponsor of ours. And so we help. And so that's teamwork. And that's what I want everybody to understand. When you work in teams, like Cheryl Toyofuku and Pastor Gary work in a team. And then I just happen to be part of that team with George Donaldson and Jim McClellan. And the same thing is with you. So it's an exemplification of that. And I know how much more you're going to succeed when you do go full time and you're able to get out of that 70-hour work week at your age, my friend. How old are you? How old are you?
I will be 75 in June.
Okay, so I want everybody to know how old you are and still having to work. You still had to work. Thank you so much, Cindy and Dalton. We love you. When we'll be coming back to you more. Thank you for sharing with everyone.
Thank you,
Love
Okay,
Bob.
you too.
and if
Love you,
you
Bob.
love you too, man. Okay, next is Armina McVeigh. You'll unmute yourself, Amina.
Okay.
There you
Hello.
go. Hi,
Hey.
Armina.
Hey.
Okay, now I am going to introduce you, Armina. You know, it was a little more than 3 years. Do you remember your date when you came to a presentation at our Tuesday night meeting at George and Sandra Donaldson's? You remember that date?
I
pretty-
know I joined April the 2nd of 2019.
Okay, so it was 3 weeks before that because you came 3 meetings in a row.
Yes.
Armina McVeigh came to our meeting, and she went, saw the video, saw the presentation like everyone else does, and she really wanted to join, but she was a disabled military vet, single mom with a child going to college. And Armina, you told me that night you really wanted to join, but you didn't have the money because you are living paycheck to paycheck and you can hardly make enough to pay the bills at the end of the month. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
but
sir.
you kept coming back, but you wanted gold and silver, but what you were really looking for was how to make some extra income. Is that right?
Yes, sir. I was in desperate need of extra income because I disability wise, I didn't have enough. The veterans, I wasn't at the 100% level at that time, and it was bad. I was in bad shape.
You're in bad shape
I was
financially.
facing homelessness. Yes.
Yeah. Now, when you did go away, you went away and told you, collect enough money that you can join. And then you came and you joined in April, that third meeting. And what did I tell you? Because you were joining to earn income. What did I tell you? I told you not to join if you can't do something. What did I tell you?
You told me not to join unless I did the auto saver, because the auto saver was like your electricity. If you don't pay your electricity bill, then you don't have no electricity. So this auto saver program was like the engine and like keeping your lights on.
That's right. So it's the ability for you to make income by being active and staying active and collecting points. And I also tell you this is going to take time, so don't expect to make any money. It's going to take time to learn. Are you willing to commit to at least 10 hours out of your life and are willing to learn a proven system? And you said yes. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, so let's just kind of tell everybody, how many months did it take before you finally enroll your first person?
9 months. 9 months.
9
9
months.
long months.
But you were buying your autosaver every single month.
Yes, sir.
You made a way to do it. And it's very important. When did you make your first $500 check?
It was after 9 months.
It was that 9th month, because after you sponsored
Mhm.
that, you sponsored another, got one on the left, one on the right. You had enough points and you made your $500 check. We all remember that because we all celebrated with you, didn't we?
Yes, sir.
On that Tuesday night meeting. That was a great thing. And
It
I can
was.
still remember the lights in your eyes and the excitement because you made a $500 check. But also, you saw that if you kept doing this and kept doing this and kept doing this, kept doing that little system, those little things over and over, you had a potential to grow this. So let's see how that's turned out in a little bit more than 3 years now. Okay. I guess it, yeah. Is it,
Okay.
or is it 3 years in April?
Well, this upcoming April will be going into what? No, it's been longer than 2019 of April the 2nd is when
Okay,
I
before,
joined.
okay,
So 4?
4 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's look at your, let's look at your stack and sell, because I called you from Las Vegas when I was teaching about the benefits of stack and sell, buying your autosaver. I actually call you from my presentation and used you as an example over the phone to the group I was teaching in Las Vegas. Uh, and I asked you to pull up your dashboard and say, how many coins have you purchased over this almost 4 year period now?
Well, over the 4-year period?
Well,
Oh,
yeah, just look
when
at
when you had called me?
yeah,
And
look at that.
yes.
Okay,
Okay,
3 year
that
period.
one at that time it was 78 coins, and the cost was $9,643.
And I asked you, have you ever had a savings of $9,643? Is that true? Is that what
Yes,
I
sir.
asked you?
Yes, sir.
And what did you tell me?
And I was like, well, Mr. Bob, it's not $9,643, but it's $16,370.
Because that was the market value, right?
Right, that was the market value. So to me, that was just, I can't even put into words not just excitement, but joy, and to see the fruition of it coming to pass. And looking back when you first told me something, and you just to hang in there, and now looking back over it at that moment when I did that, because the reason I wanted to do this was because I was on my way to Hawaii to see my brother. He had stage 4 pancreatic cancer, and so I didn't get to make it to the Vegas conference. And so, yeah, when you did this, it was just, it was a reminder to me. And Mr. Bob, I'll never forget that. I just want to say
Yeah.
thank you with all my heart.
Well, you're a great example to everyone, even if they don't, even
Persistence.
if they're going, like Delton was living paycheck, Delton is any paycheck to paycheck. You were living paycheck to paycheck. You couldn't acquire those coins unless you were making commissions from 7K. Isn't that true?
Correct. Correct.
Exactly. So
Correct.
thank you so much, Armina. You're a great example for those that will hear this and see this of what could possibly work for them too, if they
Mhm.
would just work the system the way we do it. Thank you so
And
much. And if you'll
even
mute your,
Sound Money Wallet, Mr. Bob.
oh, you got money in Sound Money Wallet too?
Yes, sir. Let me pull
Oh,
that up real quick.
yeah, pull that up. Let's look at this.
Uh,
Look at this girl going with all the savings here. I love it.
I was like, wait, I'm not done yet, Mr. Bob.
Go ahead.
But in my Sound Money Wallet, I have $7,243.35, which
But
is hang
you
on.
you have a true savings now, and you're building it, and and I know you're doing that on a regular basis because you know how to be teachable and coachable. Perfect example of that. Thank you. And you're at every meeting unless something happens. You're there, and you many times are bringing a new guest or helping your guests bring guests. You're a perfect example of how to succeed in this business. Hey, and you don't live in a big metropolis part of the city. You live out kind of in a smaller
Yeah,
dots.
Watson. A little bitty place.
Watson, little bitty town. Don't blink your eye, you might miss it, right?
That is true. That is true. But yeah, I'm sorry I didn't get on the video part. Y'all can't see me. I just got a new
No,
laptop.
it's okay. We'll do that.
So
We'll do that later. This is not going to be our last one. But thank you so
okay,
much, Hermina.
you're
Appreciate it.
welcome.
You'll mute
Thanks.
yourself. And
Okay.
now I'm going to pull Mr. Gary Capps up. If you'll unmute yourself, Mr. Gary.
Hi, Bob.
How you doing, my friend?
Doing great.
Now, how many years has it been since you joined 7K?
It'll be 3 years this February.
This February. I think you joined in Cancun, if I remember correctly.
Yes, I did.
Now, you've known about 7K for many years before you joined, didn't you?
Yeah, very closely.
And so George and I talked with you quite a bit. You had an introduction. You got to meet a lot of other leaders that are at the 7K getaway in Cancun. And you told us you wanted to join our team.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, I signed up in Cancun.
That's right. And since I sponsored George, we had George sponsor you. So
Yes.
you started and you had, you had to do left and right to get going. I know you have a family business back now. That's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
But you didn't just start out with it because not everybody
Nope.
does, but you came to realize the value of it and you decided that's what you wanted to do.
Yes.
Now, how long did it take you before you made your first check?
It was about 6 months,
And it was how much?
$500.
$500. Hello, that's pretty cool. But you have become quite a collector
Yeah.
of modern collectible coins. In fact, sometimes you get coins before George and I can get them. And Gary and Carmen, his wife, have become very, very good friends with us. You acquire more family and more friends in this business than you'll ever imagine. And the closeness is just as if they were really part of your family all your life. And that's the way we feel about Gary and Carmen. They've been to our home. We've been in other events and traveled, met them at other places. And see, there's more to it than just accumulating wealth and earning income. There's greater benefits in expanding your family, your 7K family, and making those relationships with your team is part of it. So Gary,
Yes.
you've made quite a few more checks since then.
Oh, yeah.
Quite a few.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're heading you've got a really good start. You're heading to become a copper. You're all positioned for it. And you also are positioned for getting pretty much $500 check every week right now.
Yeah.
You're getting very close to that.
Yeah, I am copper.
Oh, you're already copper. Ha,
Yeah,
yeah,
I've been copper
doggone
for
it.
a year. Come on, Bob.
Oh, that's right. That's
That's
right.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're
We're
copper,
we're going for
but
bronze. Yeah.
but we're going for bronze, but you're copper, but you hadn't got to that copper 1,000 every week yet.
Not every week,
That's
no.
kind of what I
But
talk about. You know,
but I
I know
have made
you've
a few
reached the rank.
$1,000 checks.
You
So
reached the, yeah, that's right. You have. You've already reached copper. And so forgive me. Yeah. And so here's what I want to ask. Would you mind sharing your stack and sell with us?
I don't mind it at all.
So how many coins have you purchased?
939.
I told y'all, see, he's trying to beat me in being the number one stacker. You know, George is number one stacker for all these years, and I used to be second, and now everybody's going above me. And look who's coming. You might be real close. Still got more coins, but how much did you pay for them, Gary?
190,409.
And what are they worth today? What's your market value?
This is the lowest I've seen it. 194,102.
But that doesn't matter. We
Nope,
all
it
know,
does not.
we all know that they're worth more than that. But at the same time, you really didn't pay that 190 for all those coins because you had other benefits. Okay.
Absolutely.
That's really understanding this principle is what, but where could you have put your 190,000 with no risk? I mean, it doesn't go, you can't go bankrupt. These real things don't go bankrupt like stocks and bonds and other type of instruments do, right? So where could Gary have done that and then has a place that he's diversified that has future potential growth? That's the question everybody asks. So that's the importance of buying your autosaver every month and taking a look at these rare exclusive coins they put in for coin drops. There's where you've gotten some really valuable, but you did something else. I remember you had a kilo kilo cat.
Yep. I won it in Salt Lake.
And do you know what the value of that was, Gary?
I don't know what the value was, but I was offered $55,000 for it.
Uh-huh. So that kind of is, if you were offered, that's kind of what the market value is. Okay. I know I offered you 10 and you wouldn't sell it to me the same day you won it. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I was offered 25 before I left that day.
See, everybody outbid me. I just started it for you. But you did something at our last event. What did you do, Gary, with your kilo cat?
I donated it to be raffled off for Standish Foundation.
There you go. So see, we're a force of good. And Gary and Carmen is an example. They made an example of that. He took a very valuable thing that he won at the event, and then he took that is worth more than $55,000 in terms of what we think. If somebody offered to pay that, then you have to say, well, that's what it's worth. Donated that to the Standish Foundation to raffle off and let somebody else win it at the event. That's pretty cool. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Gary, very much. And
Thank you, Bob.
let's see, you were retired when you joined here, correct?
Yes, just barely.
So what 7Ks meant to you now? What was it meant to you, and what is going to mean to you in a couple of short words?
Bob, I drove truck for 41 years, and this last 3 years has been a big, huge learning curve to me. And I have made so many friends throughout the world, and it has changed my life. And I love helping other people, and it's given me the opportunity to help others. as well as our future financial situation too.
That is such a blessing. And you came from a whole career of driving long haul trucks all across the
Yes.
country, correct?
Yes.
That's very time intensive, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yes. Mm. Thank you so much,
So,
Gary. We
Bob,
appreciate.
one other
Yes.
thing. My wife keeps saying, "Where did this come from? Where did this come from?" And I 7K.
That is so great. I really appreciate that, brother. Thank you
Thanks,
so
Bob. We
much.
love you.
We love you too, man. And if I'll get you to mute and let me, there we go. What I'm going to do now is kind of wrap this up. I'm sorry we had a couple more, but I don't want to make it too long on the recording for y'all that you can actually use it. But what I will have to do is I will have to quickly bring back up our disclosures, if y'all don't mind, because, you know, these results that these people have had with 7K, you know, or what they have experienced. And they've each experienced it using my system to grow and build and to share. And they aren't guaranteed, but I always ask people, look, if these people can do it, relate to somebody here you can relate to. And if they can do it, why can't you? I'm going to give you a couple of other stories that I know real well. Unfortunately, I'm not going to give Woodrow's story and George's story. I want them to give it, and we have them on another video already. But some of the ones that you need to know, like Bruce Harris, he was a long haul truck driver, like Gary. He drove Idaho potatoes up in Idaho. And Richard Wayne Henson called him on the phone before he called me, by the way. So Bruce is above me. So all my group's volume goes all the way up on one side of Bruce. That really up motivated him. And another guy called Dennis Nacella, and another woman called Dana Nelson. Now, and another person that was in the business, Tony Hubbard, above them. Another couple of people up in the top, but I'm going to talk about Bruce Harris. Now, all my volume goes up to all those people, all my group's volume, not mine, my entire group goes up to every one of them on their bank side. Well, that up motivated Bruce Harris a lot. Yeah, he got in because he watched that video, like, I don't know how many times Bruce said he watched it over and over and over, 20, 30 times, I don't know, 15 times. He watched it a lot, the video Richard's on. And Richard never was able to return his call, so he just joined. Okay. And finally, and Dennis Nacella, who's over in Salt Lake, very successful business person with a very reputable hotel chain, does all their finances and helps them with expansions. And he likewise joined because he asked the same question I asked Richard, who's backing you? And he said Roger Ball. We both knew who Roger Ball was. And so uh, Bruce would pass out and talk about 7K at every stop he made, every person, every vendor, every customer, that's just all he did is just talk. He just shared the word, piqued interest, gave videos. And Bruce was, in his story, was making, about 50,000 a year, a little less, 40,000, driving his truck 70 hours a week. Okay, that's hard. That's tough. So he needed an extra source of income too, and it was gold and silver. So I'm gonna definitely do this. Well, it took a few years, and he got a couple of people, uh, and he enrolled a person on his right side, and that person became a silver in their group, on his right side, on his pay side, because I'm on his left side. My group is on his left side. And so he had tons of volume in that bank account. Well, that helped motivated Bruce, started making him, because he had people on his left side too. He started making a $500 check every week. Well, that he had to grow. He had to become a copper. He started making $1,000 every week. Now he had the volume to make more, and he finally began up motivated and helped his team so he could help others rank up, so he could rank up, and he started making $2,000 a week. Now you can make more, but 2,000 a week, you multiply it out times 52 weeks. That's a six-figure income. What Bruce's story is, what he tells me, and I love it. He finally retired from truck driving in just a few short years, less than 3 years. He stopped and he started doing 7K full time. And he retired from passing out and talking about 7K at truck stops and at loading stops and at unloading stops to talking about 7K in the 19th hole at the country club where he plays golf and talks about 7K and gold and silver to them. And it's changed his life. Now I want you to, find Bruce Harris, let him tell you his story personally, but that's another great story. And Tanan Nelson was, just 30, 40 miles, living in the mountains up in Montana, not too far from the Canadian border. I physically have been to her house. She was a realtor, and I'm on her left side and my group, and on her right side is Diane Graver and her group. And so she has all this volume coming up with. She became a silver, and she was recognized at our New Orleans convention. She was there as the #1 silver earner in the company. And you look at what a silver can earn, $3,500 a week. And but she had never made that kind of money in her life, and so it allowed her to focus on her husband, who had been previously diagnosed to have only 6 months left to live, but God still heals, uh, and so he's still living, and they're doing 7K, and but they're also doing their bucket list, things that they've always wanted to do, never had time because they're always working. Both of them work. And another great story. But we got thousands of stories like this throughout the company. And the key is, are you going to be the next story? Are you going to be the next story? Because you can, if you're willing to learn how, if you're willing to treat it like a big business and not like some little side hobby. You're really willing to make a 2-year run at it, like all these people did, and like I have done, my wife has done, George has done, all my personal sponsored people who've achieved, and you can too, and we want you to. But there are no guarantees, and you need to understand that. It takes work. It takes learning, then it takes work. Okay. And the great thing about it is you get to accumulate wealth, secure what wealth you have, earn extra income as you're working toward building a legacy lifestyle income for you and your children's children. And that's what I've been working for. over these 7 years. Take a look at our income disclosure statement. Not everybody makes 500 a week as an associate. You can look at what the average is, you can look at what the median is, but you can also look at what the high is. Now, most people that become an associate want to rank up and become a copper, so they make $1,000 a week. So understanding we have a very simple comp plan all on one piece of paper that everybody can understand, and you rank up by doing. You help other people rank up to the rank you were at, and you personally sponsored them. You help them. You find people willing to do what you were willing to do. And that's the key to success. I hope you see what we see. I hope you become part of our team. If you've been a member, I hope you now engage and fully engage so you can get all the benefits as 7K grows to be a multi-billion-dollar global giant in the precious metals market. I appreciate each and every one of you, and thank you so much for your time.